Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today, another riveting, captivating, stellar, enthralling unboxing video is about to transpire. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so just bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the items from the box and flaunt them in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. Unboxing is officially underway. So, first off, we have newspaper. In conjunction with newspaper that is completely useless, we have an Oathbreaker figurine. Now, I love this Oathbreaker warrior figure, or this Oathbreaker soldier figure. He's an excellent army builder figure. He has a high quality sculpt, he has high quality details, and he even has a sheath for his weapon. Unfortunately, to my dismay, he's missing his armaments, he's lacking his sword, and he's devoid of his shield. But everything else appears to be there. All his appendages appear to be intact, so he's meticulously detailed, he's intricately detailed, he has high quality shadings, high quality aesthetics, and of course a high quality sculpt, so he's definitely a robust, state-of-the-art, high quality figure that warrants a hefty price tag. And I'll get into how much I paid at the very end for all of you who are curious. Delving further into the box, we have a figurine of Aragon, one of the variants. His vest is comprised of rubber. That's quite a novelty. He's not scuffed, nor dinged, nor dented. Again, just like the Oathbreaker figurine, he has high quality details. I believe this Aragon figurine is supposed to emulate the appearance of Aragon from the Fellowship of the Ring. Who knows? So, we have one figurine of Strider and one figurine of an Oathbreaker. Just keep that in mind. Of course, we have another variant of Aragon. He looks like he's in his helm steep attire with chainmail armor. Uh-oh. His hand is, well, I should say his appendage. His right arm is completely detached. It's severed, it's been cleaved. So, that's quite a shame and quite a pity. So, that's a defective figurine, but again, not bad. I've seen far worse. Moving on, we have a third Aragon. He nearly looks homogeneous to the first Aragon. I'm not too adamant about displaying this Aragon over the first Aragon. I don't like his visage. I don't like his vacant expression. Does his face look shoddy? Well, it looks a bit more cartoonish relative to the first Aragon. One of them looks more like a prototype, another one looks more like the final version of the figure. Let me just showcase disparity. His face looks a bit elongated, and the other Aragon's face looks a bit plumper and shorter. And I prefer the more realistic, rounder, plumper, shorter, thicker, fatter face over the elongated, longer face that's more like an oval shape. So this Aragon trumps this Aragon, but that's my personal preference. Your preferences may be disparate relative to mine, so not bad. 3 Aragon figurines, one was a defect and one Oathbreaker, and then we have 3 Gimli figurines. They all appear to be homogeneous to one another. They all appear to be identical. None of them are tainted with any major scuffs, nor blemishes, nor dings, nor dents. And all their appendages appear to be intact. Unfortunately, they're missing their axes, they're missing their helmets, and I'm unsure whether or not their utility belts are missing. I don't think they are. And then, of course, we have Frodo Baggins. I think this is his Rivendell attire. None of these figures appear to have chipped noses. That's quite a surprise. I recollect paying $18 total for these figures. That was with shipping included. So when you do the math, I paid slightly under $3 per figure. I paid roughly $2.50 per figure. Not a bad deal per se. I mainly got the lot because I wanted to build a dwarven army. Now I don't like the idea of using Gimlis as my standard run-of-the-mill dwarven warrior, but there's no other option. I mean, I could use the dwarf figurines from Shadowrun, but they're how should I say it? They embody more futuristic dwarves. In other words, they rely on modern-day weaponry, and they look like the cerebral types. Gimli, on the other hand, is a polar opposite. He's not a technical warrior that utilizes the latest technologies to trounce his adversaries. He's stoic, he's a valiant, noble, archaic warrior. He utilizes brute force, medieval weapons, and whatever he can find to turn into a weapon. So he's not into utilizing futuristic weapons. So I prefer the medieval dwarves over the futuristic dwarves, and that's why I'm going with Gimli's as an army builder for my dwarven army. Now, I like the idea that I got 3 different versions of Aragorn, so now I have multiple variants of Aragorn, but I mainly got the lot for the Oathbreaker. He was originally in a 5-pack, and if you want to get him in that 5-pack, you may have to pay over $50, so I can vindicate this purchase just for this figurine. I mean, I would have paid close to $18 alone for this figure, but it's a bonus that I get the additional 7 figurines, and it's nice that they don't have any major defects. I mean, the only issue here is we're missing swords, we're missing other accessories, and we're missing helmets. But, and of course we have an Aragorn with a severed appendage. But other than that, I mean, there's no major issues. So, for $18, you really couldn't have gone wrong procuring these 8 figures, which encompass 3 variants of Aragorn, 1 version of Frodo Baggins and Oathbreaker, and of course 3 homogeneous Gimlis that are identical to one another in every facet. So I just can't afford to pay top dollar to buy all the accessories, and frankly, equipping all the accessories can be a nightmare, and it's just not worth it paying a premium for their accessories. I'll just get the core basic figure, and I'll have them displayed bare on my shelves. I don't care. So let me just showcase the lot in its entirety. I'm going to showcase it as a totality. Just bear with me one brief moment. Let me just pop up that picture real quick. Hold on for one brief moment. Here we go. So here's the lot on eBay. That's a better picture, and it's kind of weird that it's displayed vertically, but it is what it is. So here are the Aragorns. As I stated earlier, this Aragorn looks shoddy relative to this one. This one looks much better in my opinion, but you may like the elongated face. This one looks more comic book-esque, and the other one looks a bit more photorealistic. But perhaps the Helm's Deep Aragorn is the best, because he looks like he's the most poised for battle, whereas the other ones look more like travelers. I love the Oathbreaker warrior. He's great for armor building. These Gimlis are just phenomenal. I can't notice any major disparities between them. They're all practically identical. And if they're is a difference, though. It's just relatively minute. I mean, it's the same mold, so we have the same figures. I think all three are homogeneous. And then we have the Frodo. I'm not too adamant about displaying this Frodo. I mean, sure, I like it. It looks like the Frodo from Rivendell, or the Frodo that fought against Shelob. I'm not too keen about that T-joint is kind of weird. But this Frodo isn't bad per se. It's just not my favorite Frodo. I prefer the Frodo in the original attire. I don't like it when I display variants over non-variant figures, because original attire is typically preferable, and it's how they're meant to look, and it's how I'm accustomed to seeing them. So, not a bad figurine, and I'm going to leave it at that. So here's some of the figures once more. I'm gratified, I'm satiated, I'm content, I'm relieved that I'm relieved, not relieved. I'm relieved that they all arrived in one piece, with the exception of that Aragon figure, but that doesn't really grind my gears, because I think it was broken beforehand. So I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.